There is massive fraud in Canada. Well, not exactly, but it looks like fraud. Well, does it? Maybe if you're really bad at math. Yes, suspicious Tesla sales surge triggers Canadian government investigation. What the heck is going on in Canada? Is it something nefarious, or is it a whole lot of nothing from a whole lot of people who do not understand how basic math works? I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So this story came in hot and heavy just yesterday. Suspicious Tesla sales. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so suspicious. Triggers Canadian investigation. A spike. Tesla collected $43 million in Canadian subsidies for EVs. Tesla reported 8,600 sales in 3 days, triggering $43 million in government EV rebates. A single Toronto location claimed over 1,200 sales, raising concerns about possible rebate misuse. And good news, there's definitely no extreme mental illness going on when it comes to social media's reaction, because social media is famously very, very bad at math. Canadian officials are investigating an unusual spike in Tesla sales that coincided with the suspension of the rebate program. Yes, it coincided with it. What's going on there? Well, Canada announced in November that they may be ending their EV rebate program. It's expensive. It's a lot of money. We've got a new government coming in that is less favorable to that sort of thing. And that caused an uptick in sales in November. Now, Tesla sales, not great in November and December in Canada, but here we are all the way out in March. What happened is they said, listen, the money is half gone. We're going to end this program in 3 days. If you want to buy an EV, buy it now. And guess what? A lot of people did. A lot. One Tesla location in Toronto reported more than 1,200, accounting for $4 million in rebates. Okay. Wouldn't 8,600 sales be maybe more than that? But okay. The federal EV rebate program, facilitating over 500,000 EV purchases since inception, was paused on January 13th, 72 hours after the government signaled its potential suspension. But that's not quite what it's about. This article, very short, not very good. Fortunately, we've got more articles that go into greater depth. If that's all you have to go from, yeah, maybe be upset because there's not enough information to know what's going on past the headline. 43 million. Now we're talking in EV subsidies in 72 hours, over 8,600 cars sold in just 3 days at 4 stores. How is that possible? It takes hours to buy a car, as you'll see. We've got, of course, our good friends on social media being genuinely insane. One location in Toronto did 1,200 vehicles in 1 day in January. So that's what this is about. It's so suspicious. It usually takes 3 hours to purchase a car. And there's way less than 20 employees at a dealership. How is it possible? Is there some kind of sneaky plan for Musk to keep his sales up, or possibly an organized crime connection? There is nothing of the kind. You guys are just really, really bad at math. So if you were to look at one location and do a 3-day period, let's say they only worked 12 hours a day. 12 hours is not an unusual amount of time for a car dealership to be open, especially during surge times when you tell the employees, look, bonuses are coming. Stick around. Let's get this done. Most car dealerships are open 12 hours a day. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. is pretty normal for that sort of thing. So let's just say it's 20 employees for 12 hours a day for 3 days. That's 720 man hours. And we only need to account for, what did we say, 1,200 sales? Let's say it is 1,200 sales. That would make it 1.66 cars per hour. That's only every 40 minutes, man. One car every 40 minutes. Teslas are already sold. You buy them online. You do it all yourself. I did respond to this post saying it's really very easy, but with all these clowns getting hundreds, thousands of upvotes, mine got none, because I'm speaking reason, I'm speaking facts, I'm telling you what's actually going on. 1.66 sales per hour to 1 every hour and 20 minutes. That is very easy to do. That is or at 1.66, so that'd be what every 40 minutes would be very easy to do. Every half hour would be very easy to do. But because all you do is you print out the paper. They come in and say, this is my name. Here is my ID. You photocopy it and say, here's your paperwork. Take your time. Sign it, look over it, let me know when you're done. And when it's done, you check that all the signatures are there and you say, would you like an orientation on the vehicle? Many people say, no, I already know how to drive one. Many people say, yes, I would like one. You give them their 20, 30-minute orientation, and then you go back and help the next person. That's how it's done. That's how you move that many cars. But let's look at the article again, because it was fraud. It was fraud. Fraud has a definition, and this doesn't fit it. I get very annoyed when people call things fraud because they don't like them or they don't understand them. That's not what fraud is. Same goes for a lot of the fraud we've uncovered in the government. Well, this much money for this program that I don't understand must be fraud. Was it allocated by Congress? Then it wasn't fraud. You can call it waste at that point, but it's not fraud. So yes, the extraordinary sales surge conveniently coincided with Canada's impending end to the electric vehicle subsidies. Not conveniently. It happened on purpose. Customers were told, it's now or never, baby. Do you want the discount or not? So of course, when there is a discount, you jump in for it. In total, they reported sales of 8653 cars in 3 days across 4 stores in Canada. Well, wait a minute, that 8653, that's really not that many, because let's go 8653, and now let's increase the employee count from 20 to 80, and now it is not that hard. You've got 2,800 man hours, so it is ends up being, no, I guess the equation's backwards, but it is very easy to do. It's 1 car every 3 hours, 1 car every 3 employee hours. That's actually quite easy to do. Quite easy to do. So if you don't know math, then it's going to be harder for you to understand it. Tesla's 43 million consumed more than half of them. Now, here's why there's a complaint. Dealers left holding the bag. Terry Budd, who owns 8 dealerships, was understandably shocked by the news. He hadn't received any formal notice about the program's end. Well, pay attention. The news exists, whether someone tells you or not. Do you not have someone whose job it is to make sure you know which programs you are eligible for? Only a warning that the funds were running low. He estimates he's out $150,000 for rebates he submitted, with another $25,000 for those that were never processed. That's gotta hurt. The deal's done, and we're shy that money. Nobody can tell us whether we're going to get paid or not. When he was told that a single store reportedly sold 4,000 cars over the weekend, he couldn't believe it. There's no way they delivered that many cars in a weekend. They cleared everyone else out. Well, yes, they did. And 4,000 does feel very high. I mean, I'm sure he would love to move those kinds of units, but he's not willing to move them at a price that would make them move at that level. A lot of car dealerships want to make $5,000, $10,000 on every car they sell. People don't want to pay that. Unlike most dealerships, Tesla's Canadian stores are company-owned and directly controlled, giving them an advantage in navigating rebate claims and the sales process, unlike independent dealerships who are all going it alone. But Canadian officials are questioning how they managed to achieve such a feat. Tesla had a run on the bank. Somehow Tesla gamed the system. No. Tesla used the system. We can't figure out how this could have happened without setting off alarm bells. Why would it set off alarm bells? If you say, look, we've got something free, take as many as you want, somebody's going to take as many as they want. A gray area. There's no rule against Tesla submitting rebate paperwork in bulk after cars sold. So that's part of it. It could be that they were submitting them a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, because the money's just there. But then they hear, oh, by the way, the money's running out. They go, oh, quick, process everything we've got on the desk. Just move it through so we don't get the short end of the stick. This could be what happened. Right. It could. That's a very high likelihood. Maybe more will unfold in the coming weeks. Perhaps a few more alarm bells will go off. Well, you know, the sound I hear is you being a ding dong. So maybe that's what you think is an alarm bell. The other thing that was mentioned here is that a lot of Canadian car dealerships are not open on the weekend. They left rival brands without access. By the time other dealers attempted to claim it, they had run out. Yeah. So there are a lot of the legacy guys who do not have locations. Well, let's look at, yeah, they got these 43 million by selling these. Crazy. If it looks like a duck, swim like a duck, and quack like a duck, it's probably a duck. So yes, my dear Watson, the game is afoot, and the only conclusion is indeed fraud, said, I'm assuming, the dumbest person who has ever understood how to actually type. There's an overlap there where if you get any dumber, you wouldn't understand what a computer is and how it works. I did add to myself to the comment, it usually takes about 3 hours to purchase a car. I said it doesn't. Maybe at places where they run you through the ringer for financing and rust-proofing packages that you do not need. You do all your financing and everything before you get there. When you show up, they give you your paperwork to look over and sign, a copy of your ID, and ask if you need orientation. If you don't, you take your car and you go. The whole process is literally a matter of minutes of their time. Your time could be a half hour. It could be an hour. But their time is minutes. It's literally minutes. And of course, I'm sitting at a firm 0 points compared to the comment I responded to, calling it fraud and all these other things, which is conveniently at 827 points. That's how genuinely stupid the hate is out there, guys. It's exhausting. It's stupid. What did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Where is your evidence of amazing fraud that the world needs to be wary of? This is insane. How could we ever learn really elementary school math? Like and subscribe. Please do subscribe. I'm trying to get those numbers up. And stay tuned, stay juicy. I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the Flippity Flop.